Welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about how I grew my trading account from $3,000 to over $100,000 in 18 months trading stocks and options. Now I know that sounds pretty crazy, but I'm going to show my broker statement, what I started with, how I added a little bit of funds along the way, and where my account value is today. I'll also go over some examples of setups that I like and how I go about trying to take advantage of those setups using options. I'll also be talking about a lot of other things in this video, but before I do that, let's take it back to the beginning. So I started trading in June 2016, and just like many other people coming in, I don't think I realized how tough the journey was going to be to become consistently profitable. I started with a $30,000 account, so I was lucky enough to get past the PDT rule, but I still had absolutely no idea what I was doing. Watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to trade and even did some paper trading before I went live. Saw a little bit of success in paper trading, but we all know it's totally different when it comes to real money. So I felt good and was pretty confident when I started, and that quickly changed. The main strategy that I gravitated towards in the beginning was the gap and go. So looking for the biggest gappers up, the biggest gappers down, but I did not trade penny stocks. So I was really focusing on those gappers that were $50 and above, and then trying to focus to the long side on the gap ups and then to the short side on the gap downs. And I know there's a lot of people who can make money consistently trading that strategy, but for me, it just didn't work. And instead of quickly realizing that strategy didn't work well for me, I kind of stubbornly stuck with it for about 2 years. I didn't lose a lot of money or blow any accounts or anything like that, but I just couldn't really go anywhere. So it was really just trading flat for a very long period of time. And then after about 2.5 years of giving this everything I had and just not going anywhere, I got extremely burnt out and I finally decided to take a break. I was so stressed out and just not 100% mentally on top of my game that I knew if I didn't take a break, I was probably very close to making some bad decisions and possibly destroying my trading account. So I stepped away from the market completely at the end of 2018, took a mental break, and then came back at the end of June 2019. And I had already been trading options a little bit prior to taking that break, so I was familiar with how they worked. And when I came back in the end of June 2019, I wanted to start fresh. So I told myself I'm going to start a small account and then go from there. And that's when I opened a $3,000 cash account at Interactive Brokers. And with that account being funded, I told myself that I am going to focus on strictly scalping options around a group of names that I watch every single day. And to see that group of names and some setup examples, I will link that video above. But to show a few more examples from some setups that I really like to trade, I'm going to go over a few that I saw today, January 11th, 2021. Okay, let's go over the technicals. First example, Nvidia. Nvidia had some news that it was partnering with NIO over the weekend, had a big gap up today, and as you can see, this was trading above the 9, the 20, the 50 SMA, started to have a handful of days of consolidation. The gap up got it close to that prior pivot high, 546.10, and pre-market high 545.32. So those were the two main levels I was interested in trading around. Nvidia did have a 1-minute opening range break off the open. I occasionally do take 1-minute opening range breaks, but I don't want to make it a habit because when wrong, those losses can be really big, really fast. But this is what I try to do. Wait for that high of day, 536.83, and when it breaks, risking off the candle low. And what I do is I always try to trade the next strike out of the money. So if it's trading at 536, the next strike out of the money would be the 537.50s, same week expiration. And then the moment that I get a quick move, since I'm a scalper, I just always take those profits. And Nvidia had another clean setup, so it pushed through pre-market high, that prior pivot high, 546.10. I don't want to chase that. I like to wait for clean flag patterns after a big move. And it put in a nice clean flag, pulled back to VWAP, pulled back to the 9 EMA, held it, and as it approached high of day, so that new high was 548.05, I always try to anticipate a little bit, and I would have used the next strike out of the money, so the 550 calls, and when I get the break and it starts to speed up, I'm always just taking those profits. And it was a nice quick move, and I usually try to always focus on the first 30 minutes of the morning because that's when the moves are the biggest. My stats tell me that when I continue to trade after that, I can usually get chopped up. NIO had the big gap up today. It was making a new all-time high, showing that buyers are clearly in control. And the next technical level that I see to be able to trade around is pre-market high, 65.85. And the two main technical patterns that I really like trading are quick opening range breaks and flag patterns. And in a perfect world, I really like when those patterns can form right around the technical levels that I get from the daily and pre-market low or pre-market high. And as you can see right here, the first 1-minute candle on NIO was down. I prefer that because now there is a high day as a reference. And if it breaks that around some sort of technical level, there is a possibility for more momentum. And after that first 1-minute candle closed red and had no follow through, buyers took back control, got back above VWAP. When stocks are trading above VWAP, it lets me know that it's strong. and high day is 65. I always try to anticipate the break just a little bit, and then once I'm in the money, I try not to let my contracts go red, and then the moment that it starts to speed up, I always just take those profits. So it broke 65, nice strong move, got right through pre-market high, and that's usually when I would be out of the trade and just take it for a very quick momentum move. And the reason I do that is because you never know when there's going to be a reversal like this, and I don't want to be stuck in anything like that, so I usually don't try to hold my winners. I just get that quick move and I take it every time. And sticking to that and not worrying about missing out on a bigger move is single-handedly what turned the corner for me and allowed me to become consistently profitable. And the last example I'll do on Tesla has been on an insane run. It's definitely due for a pullback, but shorting this stock is not easy. It was gapping down a little bit in the pre-market, so it was showing some weakness. Some of the levels that I see to be able to trade around is pre-market low, 849.11, and prior day's low, 838.39. Also knowing that it does have a gap fill on that prior high, 816.99. Now Tesla doesn't have to do anything, but I always just put these levels just in case. And now to look at a lower time frame chart, Tesla had an opening range break, consolidated for about 7 minutes, finally broke low a day, had a quick move. Doesn't look like much, but that's about a 6-point move once it broke the lows. Has a pop, gets right back to the 9 EMA, puts in a nice flag pattern, breaks the low again, and has some nice follow through. And even though that does not look like much, that's about 4 points right there. And Tesla options are very volatile, so anytime I get a quick move like that, I take profits every single time. So those are some examples of setups that I like. Now let's go take a look at my broker statement from the beginning until now. Okay, so this is my account since inception. Here's my name at the top, Matthew Evan Diamond, and here's that initial deposit of $3,000 that I made on June 27th. And as of right now, January 11th, 2021, my account is at $105,757.63. And I want to talk about the equity curve in the beginning because there wasn't exponential growth until about 6 or 7 months in. So started with $3,000 at the end of June, and the last day of 2019, my account was $8,440. So I was pretty conservative. I was only trading 1-2 contracts at a time on that list that I like to look at every single day. Always trying to focus on the best daily charts, getting those technical levels from the daily, and then trying to wait for those patterns that I like, the opening range break or the flag pattern around those technical levels on a lower time frame chart. And especially in the beginning, any profits that I made, I usually took them and I called it a day. And then the beginning of 2020 is where things really started to exponentially grow. And the reason for that is because not only I was becoming consistent and feeling really good about my exact strategy and scalping options, but this is when Tesla started to go pretty crazy. And there was opportunity to trade it pretty much every single day. So I wasn't even trading bigger size. I was still trading right around the same size. But as Tesla got more expensive, more volatile, and the moves got more aggressive, so I was able to make more on the exact same patterns I was taking before and the same size. And as you can see, this is where it really started to take off, and I made a deposit. So on January 31st, I made a deposit of $2,000. I was saving money doing some of the other things that I was doing, and whenever I had a little extra, I made sure to put it in. So I added the $2,000 just to help the account, and as you can see, really started to make some progress, growing the account, got almost to PDT. And then this is the last deposit that I made. I deposited $7,200 to get my account over PDT so that way I could trade stocks and options, even though I am trading options 95% of the time. I wanted to just be over that 25K hurdle so that way if there was a stock that was about to break out, looked really good, but the options weren't great, I could trade shares when I wanted to and not be confined to any sort of pattern day trader rules. And after that, that's when things really started to take off. I was trading Tesla pretty much every day, getting very comfortable trading it, and just some serious exponential growth. And when the account got right around $60,000, that's when I started to regularly withdraw money from the account. Had a decent month in July, then wired out $2,000. Had a really good month in August. That was actually my best month, and I'll link that above. Wired out $8,000. Had a good month in September. Wired out $2,600. Wired out $6,000 at the end of October. Wired out $4,000 at the end of November. And then my most recent withdrawal of $5,000 at the end of December after a good month. So I was pretty patient and waited a long time to build the account to where I felt comfortable before finally taking out money regularly. So it was a long work in progress, but I feel like I was patient and did it the right way, and now it's all paying off. So just to go over the numbers real quick once again, started with $3,000, added $2,000, then made one last deposit of $7,200. So total amount of my own money was $12,200. And I obviously got that back and more from wiring out, but that $12,200 ultimately led to me making $110,000 in 2020. And the two most important things that I think happened that allowed me to finally put up a year like that was one, I just committed to being a scalper and always taking the quick move, not worrying about what it does after the fact, just consistently do that and I should be okay. And number two, finally having a big account after I feel really good about my strategy and knowing that I am confident in executing my process every single day, because that allowed me to increase size from 5 to 10 contracts within the last few months. And that's it. Those were the details on starting from the beginning with $3,000 and how I grew that to over $100,000. It's definitely not easy, but it is possible. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.